Hey guys, welcome back to Self-Care Haven. I know I haven't made a video in a very long time because I've been busy with grad school work and my computer has had some technical difficulties within the past few months, so I apologize for that. But I'm back to making new videos regarding self-care and emotional trauma, and I'm so excited to be speaking with you again, and I welcome you all back as well. I hope that you're doing well on your journey to healing. I thought I'd make a video on female narcissists, as I get a lot of emails from male readers as well as female readers who read my blog who've struggled with their encounters with female narcissists, whether it was in the workplace, in friendships, through narcissistic family members such as narcissistic mothers. And although I can only speak in terms of my own personal experience with male relationship and dating partners, I will say that I've had friendships with several female narcissists in the past, and that's the reason why, even though my book and blog are primarily targeted towards women, I try to keep my blog entries as gender neutral as possible. I also want to be inclusive towards the LGBTQ community, which also experiences narcissistic abuse. This type of abuse is not a cisgender or heterosexual issue, and I definitely want to challenge that heteronormative discourse around narcissism because it's an issue that affects everyone and anyone and can take place across a wide variety of contexts, whether it's in relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, the workplace, or familial relationships. So besides all the techniques that all narcissists use, such as the idealization, devaluation, discard cycle, as well as triangulation, gaslighting, and the false self, some of the main traits that I've observed in female narcissists that I've encountered are the following, and these may very well overlap with somatic male narcissists as well, who tend to be overly focused on their appearance. But I do want to mention these traits nonetheless because this is what I've observed and what I've researched, and I think that it might be helpful for anyone who's trying to figure out whether their female friend or their female relationship partner or dating partner or familial member, family member might have these traits and might demonstrate these characteristics. So let's get to it. The first trait that I really want to focus on, because I've really encountered this a lot, especially in female narcissists, is that they tend to be incredibly vain, self-absorbed, and superficial. So they're either incredibly conventionally attractive or they have an inflated sense of their own attractiveness, right? So due to this, when they're actually first idealizing their source of supply, whether it's a female friend, their relationship partner, dating partner, they're very focused on your appearance, especially with the female friendships that I've had with female narcissists. They'll remark upon every facet of you and how you look, your hair, your skin, the shape of your face, it's just everything. And it gets you to, they will call you beautiful, they will call you attractive, and it gets you to trust them more because, first of all, they're complimenting you. So they're showing you the side of themselves that is very likable, and they're building that rapport with you where you feel like, oh, this person is so sweet, and even though this person is very beautiful themselves, like they're able to compliment others, and that's great. So that's your own thought process, and you think, wow, this person is amazing. And they have all of this social proof because they tend to be very charismatic, and they tend to be the life of the party, and they tend to be very well liked by others, and everyone says that they're so cool, so they must be cool, right? And you kind of tend to gaslight yourself into thinking that, especially since they're flattering you in the very beginning, and they're complimenting you just like a male narcissist does with a female or other male partner in a relationship, right? And if you tend to be, I don't know, the attractive one or the talented one, or very well liked in your group of friends, watch out because female narcissists don't like that. So even though they're flattering you in the beginning and complimenting you and they seem so proud of your accomplishments, it won't be too long before they start covertly putting you down, and before they kind of demonstrate that sadistic pleasure in your downfalls and your shortcomings and things that are not going well in your life. That will happen, and that's also the devaluation phase in a female friendship with a female narcissist. So once you started to catch on that they are manipulative and that they do covertly put you down, you will catch these mask slipping. So narcissists wear that false mask, that false self, and you will see a glint of pleasure in their eyes as you tell them about something terrible that happened to you or a heartbreak that you're going through. And you'll start to minimize and deny when that happens, right? Because you're going to be thrown into a lot of cognitive dissonance whenever that occurs, and you're going to be thinking, well, no, this person is so likable, and they complimented me so much, and they seem to be so supportive of me, and they seem to be so proud of me, right? It's all just a public persona, however. They want to seem like a very nice friend to you because that's going to make it easier for them when they stage that smear campaign. So I'm sure if you've ever researched bullying, you've heard that girls tend to engage in more relational aggression than male bullies, right? So that means that they're more likely to gossip, they're more likely to slander your reputation, they're more likely to attack your place and your status in your female friendships than they are to physically attack you, right? So that means that when, for example, let's say you tell a female narcissistic friend a secret of yours that you wouldn't tell anybody else. And even though you stress to them, like, this is confidential, I don't want anybody knowing about this, the next day you hear that the secret's out. Your female friend did either partially or completely reveal it to your group of friends. And that actually happens more times than you would think, right? That happens a lot. And so we have to be very wary of someone whose actions obviously contradict their words and their promises. And once you start getting hold of the fact that their mask is slipping, and if you try to call them out on it, that's when they start the more overt devaluation phases. So they might insult you in a way that's disguised as a joke. They might overtly show pleasure in your displeasure, in the trauma that you faced, or a bad event that happened to you. They might basically laugh to your face when you tell them about something that traumatic that happened. And it's really scary when that happens, because you realize that this person that you really trusted in the very beginning is actually very manipulative, is not a true friend, and is really hoping you'll fail. They're not proud of you, actually. They're actually very threatened by you, and they want nothing more than to see you fail and to be hurt and to feel very small. And you have to watch out for that. For anyone who shows that kind of sadistic displeasure, there's something deeply wrong with them. Just going to put it out there. There's something deeply wrong with that person. And, they need to feel like they're the best, that they're the ones that have the most attention from men, from women, that they're the center of attention. So let's say you're the center of attention or something, or that you're very well liked in the group of female friends. They will make sure that that kind of status and power is taken away and chipped away at through their gossip, through exclusion, through passing on your secrets, through covertly and overtly putting you down, and again, making you feel very small, and also lining up new sources of female supply, new sources of supply. And I'm sure, actually, as I talk about this, it really reminds me of the movie Mean Girls. Obviously, it's a very, very, very good depiction of what a female narcissist looks like and how she operates in the realm of female friendships, right? And in terms of like relationships and dating, the female narcissist will do everything in their power to make sure that they can regain control over any situation they have. So for example, let's say you're a male narcissist or a female narcissist dating another female narcissist, right? You invite her to your birthday party or some sort of celebration that's about you. They are very likely to ruin it somehow. They could be flirting with your male friends. They could be insulting you, devaluing you, humiliating you in front of these friends. They're putting you down and making you feel very small on a very big day. Now, that's just one example of the way that they can put you down, but there's so many ways that they can triangulate you and make you compete for their attention and make you feel very small on a day that you were meant to feel really big and great about yourself. And that's related to my next point, which is that they will use their sexuality, just like male somatic narcissists, in very, very provocative ways in order to gain supply. So female narcissists are always the ones that are surrounded by a group of men. It's like their harem, just like male narcissists have their harems of women or men, depending on their sexual orientation. And they often have I found this with my female narcissistic friends, they often have a primary partner, boyfriend, or husband who might adore them, might provide for them, but they still seek out outside sources of attention, right? Because they can't get enough. Just like any other narcissist, they can't get enough. They need their next fix of supply. So they're often flirting with others, including males who are also committed to other women already. That gives them a sense of power and control to be that other woman who takes that male away from that primary relationship partner. They get that sadistic pleasure out of that, right? So I'm not saying everyone who does that is a female narcissist, but many of them are. They might cheat on their male partners or female partners emotionally and physically. To them, sex is a trophy and a reward that they can easily withdraw from you at any time and use to manipulate you and control you. Again, like I said, they take a lot of sadistic pleasure in your shortcomings. Like male narcissists, they will attempt to put down your accomplishments and make you second guess and doubt yourself, even while simultaneously flattering you immensely. So I experienced some female narcissists who just really confused me because they seemed to really flatter me about certain things. But in the same sentence, within minutes, they would start to covertly put me down or overtly put me down and insult me about something else that was missing in my life or something that I considered a shortcoming. And I found that very interesting because usually when someone is really proud of you, they will support you. And I'm not talking about constructive criticism, by the way. This is like insults disguised as jokes. This is like covert put downs and manipulation and really rubbing that sore wound, putting salt on that wound, and making you feel very small right after they flattered you and made you feel very big. So again, it's kind of like idealize on the pedestal, throw her off the pedestal, idealize on the pedestal, throw her off the pedestal. Make sure she does not feel secure. And the reason they even flatter you in the first place is so you second guess yourself and you start to gaslight yourself into thinking, oh, but they're so nice, I'm sure they didn't mean anything by it. And if you do call them out on it, rest assured they're never going to take accountability for what they said or did. They will most likely, if they even apologize, they will most likely say, I didn't intend to hurt you in that way. I was just pointing out this and that because there's really no reason. It's just to make you feel small. There's really no other reason why someone else would take pleasure in your shortcomings or covertly put you down when they know that you're insecure about that certain thing, right? Only sadistic people do that. And I find that female narcissists tend to be so self-absorbed. They don't really ask as many questions as male narcissists. Now, I'm only speaking in terms of female friendships. Maybe they do in terms of relationships, but I noticed that my male narcissistic partners would always question me in the very beginning, so they found out a lot about my weak spots. Female narcissists are more they slowly progress, right? They have this kind of, they find out more about you through trust and relational rapport before they become relationally aggressive. So they build that trust and rapport with you, and then they kind of sneakily attack. And they maintain that public persona that they really like you and enjoy your company, so that other friends feel like they're so great and they're so charismatic and they're so nice and popular, when in reality they've been saying all these things to you that are really incredibly hurtful, and they seem to get pleasure out of it. And that's the way that they maintain that public persona and that false self, because you are the only one who seems to see the mask slipping, because you're aware of it. And as someone who is hyper aware of and intuitively aware of nuances in facial expression and tone of voice and things like that, I am incredibly aware when someone is being condescending to me versus someone who's just joking and teasing. And I don't think many people know that distinction because they haven't really been through narcissistic abuse, so they don't really know. And again, they're very easily threatened by whatever you might have. They're incredibly envious. Female narcissists are incredibly envious of anything you might have, whether it's appearance or accomplishments or your status in your friendship group or anything else. They're just incredibly envious. And because women are also more socialized to compete with other women, that's why I even made a video on female friendships, because I think it's so important. It's a topic that's not really covered as much when we blog about narcissism. It's all about relationships. But female friendships are really at the core of how many females relate to the world, because if you don't have that support group and that network, and I'm not trying to say like females can only be friends with other females. Of course, they can have male friends too, but I'm just saying, like, that's your support network. If you grow up female and you find this group of other females that you hang out with, and then you meet, that there's going to be at least, well, sometimes, not all the time, there's going to be that one female friend who's a narcissist, and she's going to do everything in her power to make sure that you're thrown off the pedestal. If you're well liked by your other friends, or you threaten her in some way, or you call her out on her misbehavior, you start to see the mask slipping and you call it out, and she knows that you're aware of her true self, she's going to do everything in her power to make sure that you lose status in that group, because she doesn't want her image to be exposed. So just like with other narcissists, the best thing is to walk away and detach, right? Because you're going to face the smear campaigns and the gossip and the relational aggression, and also they're very likely to, flirt with whoever you're dating at the time as well, because they want that attention. They'll flirt with anybody and everyone. They're very sexually provocative, and they take a lot of pride in their sexual prowess because they feel like that's the way that they can gain supply and control. Although male somatic narcissists also do the same, so there's an incredible amount of overlap. And one thing I haven't really covered in this video is that obviously when we're dealing with family members, a lot of you have suffered from narcissistic fathers or mothers. They tend to use a lot of pity ploys, a lot of guilt tripping in order to get you to do what they want. They try to manipulate you, and they also treat you like a trophy and an object. So also remembering that these female narcissists they can also be parents who objectify their children and make them sources of supply and don't really have compassion or empathy towards them. That's incredibly important, and I'm sure I'll cover that more so in another video. But I do want to hear from you. These are the qualities that I've observed in female narcissists within the context of friendships. I know I didn't talk too much about dating and relationships, but I'm sure I'll make another video on that as well. And I'm sure there's more qualities and traits that I've missed. And I'd love to hear from you. What are other qualities you witness as a friend, a relationship, dating partner of a female narcissist? Is there anything that you would remove from this list or challenge? Leave me a comment below. And be sure to subscribe to Self-Care Haven. I will be making more videos now that my computer is completely repaired. And I will be making more videos on self-care, emotional trauma, recovery from narcissistic abuse, and I will hopefully continue the 50 Shades of Narcissism series as well. And I'm writing a new book on narcissism, so make sure that you check for more updates on that. If you haven't already joined my Facebook group, it's in my About section on the YouTube channel. The link is facebook.com slash selfcarehaven, and follow me on Twitter, selfcarehaven, as well. I'll see you all soon. And also my book is The Smart Girl's Guide to Self-Care if you want to check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below. I'll see you guys soon, and take care.